Israel's military confirmed Thursday its forces have stormed the main hospital in southern Gaza hours after Israeli fire killed a patient and wounded 6 others in the complex. AP correspondent Karen Shamus reports.
The Israeli army said it was a limited operation seeking the remains of hostages taken by Hamas. The raid comes a day after Israel's army sought to evacuate thousands of displaced Palestinians who were seeking shelter at the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis. The military said it had credible intelligence that Hamas had held hostages at the hospital and that the remains of hostages might still be inside. Nasser hospital has been the latest focal point of Israel's ground offensive. Israeli troops, tanks and snipers have surrounded Nasser hospital for at least a week. Surrounded by heavy fire, several people inside the compound have been killed, according to health officials. I'm Karen Shamas.
Ahead of a meeting of NATO defense ministers in Brussels Thursday, NATO Secretary General urged alliance members not to drive a wedge between the U.S. and its European members. VOA's Rick Pantaleo reports.
Speaking to reporters ahead of a meeting with NATO defense ministers, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg says the alliance's European members and Canada have ramped up defense spending to record levels.
And we should not pursue any path that indicates that we are trying to divide Europe from North America. The strength is that we have Europe and North America together in NATO. We have to remember that non-EU NATO allies account for 80% of NATO's defense spending.
Concern is growing in Europe about the future U.S. commitment to NATO should Donald Trump return to office. With a war in Ukraine weighing on resources, European leaders agree they should do more without relying on U.S. help. Rick Pantaleo, VOA News.
You'll find expanded coverage of world news and events at our website, voanews.com. This is VOA News. Britain's economy fell into a recession in the second half of 2023, creating a tough backdrop for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who has promised to boost growth ahead of an expected 2024 election. Reuters correspondent Francis McGuire reports.
Official data released Thursday showed gross domestic product contracted by a worse than expected 0.3% in the 3 months to December. That follows another decline over the period between July and September of 0.1%. Britain's Office for National Statistics said the Q4 fall in GDP was the biggest since the first quarter of 2021 in the depths of the health crisis. It further indicated manufacturing, construction and wholesale sectors were the largest contributors to the decrease. The country's economy has stagnated for nearly 2 years, though the Bank of England expects it to pick up slightly in 2024.
Francis McGuire from Reuters. President Vladimir Putin said that Russia would prefer to see U.S. President Joe Biden win a second term, describing him as more experienced and predictable than Donald Trump. That's even though Moscow strongly disagrees with the current administration's policies. Putin's comments during an interview with Russian state television Wednesday were his first about the upcoming U.S. presidential election. They were rare praise for Biden, a fierce critic of the Russian leader who has frequently lauded Trump. Putin's motives for saying Biden is a better choice for Russia were unclear, but Trump immediately sought to turn it in his favor at a campaign rally Wednesday night, hailing Putin's statement as a, quote, great compliment. AP correspondent Jackie Quinn reports the Falcon 9 has lifted a private company's craft on a mission to land on the moon's south pole.
At Florida's Cape Canaveral.
3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go IM-1 and the Odysseus lunar lander.
A SpaceX rocket took Intuitive Machines' lunar lander for a trip to the moon. Travel time's about a week, and if the touchdown is successful, it would be the first U.S. moon landing in more than 50 years. NASA has some experiments on board as well, hoping to get a head start on a moon mission that's slated for later this decade. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Senegal's top election authority has voided the president's postponement of a presidential election scheduled for February 25th and its rescheduling in December, saying the moves were unconstitutional. A judgment approved by 7 members of Senegal's Constitutional Council canceled the decree signed by President Macky Sall that postponed the election. The judgment also said the National Assembly's move on February 5th to reschedule the vote for December 14th also was, quote, contrary to the Constitution.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.